Welcome to Season 2, Episode 23 of the Cohesive Home Podcast.
We are so excited to be back with you after a much-needed winter break. As we say often, we believe it's important to practice what we preach by taking time to be with our families. We hope you had a peaceful and restful holiday. On today's episode, we're talking about ungoaling your life in the new year, as well as sharing with you a review of a new book we love.
Wait. Is ungoaling even a word, Kate?
Well, technically, no, but it is now.
It is now.
Yeah. That's what we do here.
Well, I'm excited to talk about ungoaling. But for real, we believe that goals and dreams, that they matter. That's actually why we have the guide to writing your family's philosophy and setting goals on our website. And if you haven't checked that out, you definitely should. But we also want to talk with you guys today about this new concept that we've been talking about with each other called ungoaling. I think we coined a new phrase.
We're trying to.
Yeah.
So basically the idea of ungoaling revolves around putting less focus on external goals. So, typically like you think of New Year's resolutions as like running a marathon or going on a diet, or what are some other ones?
Reading 100 million books.
Oh, those make me feel bad.
I know. How many books did you read, Melissa? 5, maybe. I don't even know if that's even right.
Yeah. But it's, I think on one hand, it is great to have these external goals because it provides something measurable. And that's why people love New Year's resolutions, because you feel like, okay, I can make my to-do list for this particular goal and I can achieve something great in the new year. But so many of us fail.
Yep. So the other day when you and I were talking, we were sort of discussing the failing of these things. I don't really, or actually I think it started because my husband had asked me what my goals were for the new year. That's what it was. And I kind of looked at him and I said, I haven't thought about it. Like, I really, truly had not thought about creating new goals for the year, because I said, I just kind of want to live my life. I don't want to have something that I'm going to fail at. I kind of just want to keep going and striving to be better at what I'm already doing.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. And, I think that, as we start to move to living more intentionally every day, right? So we're not just on January 1st, but we are every day making small decisions to live a better life. And so then maybe those bigger external goals aren't as necessary. Right. I mean, not that we haven't, like I said, not that we have anything against those, because they're a lot of fun to think up.
Yeah. And let us definitely make sure everyone listening knows, like, those big goals, we're not saying they're wrong. They're great. If you have a goal to lose weight, or you have a goal, to run a marathon this year, like we were saying, that's great. Like my husband has goals to run 2 races this year. And I think that's awesome. I mean, it's something that he has put down on paper and he will make it happen. But for me, I don't have anything that lofty this year. I really feel like if I just focus on what I'm doing and, again, try and just make those better and live intentionally, I think that's a big enough goal. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that is a really good approach, Melissa. I'm kind of doing the same this year, and that's where the whole idea of ungoaling came from, is that I wanted to set different standards for myself, as well as be a little bit more gentle in the new year. So much of last year, 2016, for me was about setting these audacious goals. right?
Yeah.
And we said them
Yeah.
with cohesive home. I wrote a book. That was a huge goal for me. I had some
Yeah.
personal goals that I worked on. And I got to the end of this year and I realized I was so tired.
Tired. You, you, your goal of that you didn't even know you had of making a baby, you did that too.
And I'm exhausted.
You're tired, man. You are tired. And rightfully so.
Yes, but it's, I like we talked about in our Living Seasonally podcast, in everyone's life, you go through periods of maximum output. And that's good. Sometimes there is something you need to work toward. But then it is also important to recognize when we need to pull back a little bit and focus on the nuts and bolts of our home life, our families,
Yes.
and what's happening with us as individuals.
Oh, I totally agree, Kate. And it's funny because one thing I have noticed on Instagram in particular, some of you, if you're on Facebook or any other social media, or even just talking to your friends, oh, a real life conversation. That's fun.
What's that?
But specifically on Instagram, you scroll through your feed and you see people posting about their New Year's resolutions and things. And most everyone, even big bloggers and their podcasters and things, they are saying they're slowing down.
Yeah.
They're being more, their intent to focus on their family and focus on things that matter more. But the slowing down, that's key. A lot of them say they're slowing down from 2016. And I think that that is a big indicator of the way people are thinking and how this movement of being more holistic in your family approach and in the approach in life, even in work. A lot of people with these lofty goals of work, they're like, I'm pulling back this year, pulling back. And so, yeah, I think ungoaling could be a movement, Kate. You started.
You heard it first on Cohesive Home.
Yeah. Remember that.
Well, and that the whole idea of ungoaling and moving from these external goals to more internal ones, like focusing on, who I am as a mother, as a wife, an individual, all of those things matter too. But, we tend to kind of, at least I do, I push that aside and I'm like, nope, I need the big goals.
Yeah.
But Melissa and I both recently got our hands on a book, and it's actually really a journal that we'd love to share with you.
Yeah, it's because it's I won't say sister book, but it's what would it be, like a sidekick? I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right word to something that we gave away was that the beginning of last year?
That was April 2016. We gave away a couple copies of The Joy of Less by Francine J. And many of you may know her by her blog name, which is Miss Minimalist.
Yes, and which is a great book in its own right. And so this is kind of a go-along journal with that book, and it's just called The Joy of Less Journal. Clear your inner clutter.
What I really appreciated about this journal is that it's coinciding with the ideas I already had about how I want to approach this new year. And one of the things that I really wanted to focus on is decluttering my mind. So obviously, if you've listened to our podcast, I have spent a lot of time on decluttering my house and getting rid of physical possessions. And now I'm ready to focus on what's going on in my own life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. Well, and honestly, it's been a while since I had read the book. So for me to sit down and open this up, it's not like you have to read the book to enjoy this journal. For me, I really enjoyed the fact that you can write down. There's little prompts, but then you can write down, so it helps you with those inner thoughts and inner things that you're trying, like what Kate is talking about, the internal things, the internal clutter that you're wanting to kind of take care of. So,
Yeah, and I think it's a good physical reminder to think about the way that we want to spend our days and not to get caught up in just the daily tasks, but look intentionally at what's happened in the past, process it, and then move forward into the future.
yeah. And I think we become better versions of ourselves when we're willing to let go of some of that baggage.
Yes, absolutely. Just to give an example of one of the prompts in this book, I'm not going to talk specifically about it, but it talks about letting go of anger, about how anger makes us feel inside and what happens when we kind of hang on to that and we should actually let it go. And I know so many people had a hard time with 2016 and felt powerless about all of the different things that happened throughout the year. And so that's just one example of a way to process what you're feeling and then to let it go.
Unless their 2016 was absolutely excellent. And in that case, they would absolutely love one of my favorites was embracing, okay, again, I'm going to butcher this, but lagom. It's a Swedish word. And
I love those Swedish words.
I just love them. Oh, man. Oh, Sweden. Anyway, it means just the right amount means lagom. And so it talks about that balance between too much and too little. And it kind of prompts you in finding that sweet spot of like where you need to be in your life. I think that's one of the things I really liked about this book, or I'd say book, the journal, is the prompts and the little nuggets of knowledge. Like I never would have known what that word meant or about that word because it's Swedish. And each one of these prompts, I feel like really kind of such a cliche word, enlightens you. but it gives you some knowledge, but then it also with that knowledge prompts you to dig a little deeper into yourself. So
Absolutely.
That's what I really liked about it.
And it's just, it's a very beautiful journal. And it has a clean design. I didn't feel distracted as I worked through it, which is important to me. If I'm going to take the time to write and think about something, I don't want to see a lot of visible clutter. And so, I really enjoyed the design.
And I also really think it's trendy right now to like declutter and minimize your home. It's absolutely everywhere. So, but no one's really talking about the other things that clutter our lives, and that's stress and multitasking. And the doozy would be digital technology, must I say. I can't say that enough. So I think a journal like this is a perfect addition to the physical decluttering that we've been doing in our homes, like you said before.
Yeah.
So,
and if you're looking for a different approach to New Year's resolutions and just, resetting yourself as an individual, as we, kind of talked about earlier, this journal would probably be a great fit for you. And in fact, we are partnering with Francine J. and her publisher, Chronicle Books, to give away 2 copies of the journal.
Woot woot.
Yeah.
So if you would like to enter the giveaway, head to our website and go to the podcast page, look for episode 23. And on that episode 23 page, you can enter the giveaway. We'll put a link on Instagram and Facebook and all of those great things directly to that page. The giveaway starts Friday, January 6th and ends Thursday, January 12th at midnight Central Standard Time.
Okay, friends, we are about to wrap up this episode for today. As you dive into your goals and aspirations for 2017, remember that choosing a life that deeply matters is more than simply checking off achievements on a list. Sometimes it takes digging deeper into who you are to create a life that beautifully reflects who you are on the inside.
Don't be afraid to tread your own path, to ignore what social media says, and you should be instead dreaming big for you and your family. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and leave us a review if you'd like. We will see you next time.